Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Lola's Voice. My name is Lola and I'm your host on this channel. I hope you guys are still staying safe, taking precautions, and using your face masks, washing your hands, and doing everything necessary to stay safe. So today I'm going to be discussing a very interesting topic, a topic that interests me a lot, and it's political apathy in Nigeria. While I was preparing for this episode, I thought it was going to be young political apathy for young people in Nigeria, but I just decided to remove the young people and just let's say apathy of young people in Nigeria. Nigeria is the most populous nation in Africa, and we had our last detailed census in the year 2006, and during that time, as of 2006, it was recorded that we have over 140 million people living in Nigeria, and but as of 2019, we are estimated to be about 198 million people according to the world meters. That's about 2.57 population of the world. Up a little bit, up there. So over 84 million people registered to vote in 2019 out of 198 million people. So those 84 million people are considered to be eligible voters. However, only 35 million people out of the 84 million people that registered to vote only voted during the last election. So what is political participation? So when we talk about political participation, it doesn't necessarily mean contesting for election and voting only. Political participation means the activities of the mass public in politics. Example include voting, campaigning, helping a candidate you want to see get into power, advocating, protesting, boycotting, petitioning. All these are all examples of political participation. Political participation is also a means whereby citizens can communicate their views to their leaders, or they can just communicate their views. And another way that this generation has chosen to participate, which is also very essential, is by writing political posts, by tweeting, anything you're doing that gives you a voice. It's still part of political participation. So there is no one way to nation building. We all have a role to play when it comes to nation building. We all have a role to play. So how do I define apathy? What do I mean by apathy? So apathy basically means lack of interest in an activity. So when we are saying political apathy, so what that means generally is like lack of interest in politics or in anything that revolves around politics. However, it is possible for someone to be politically conscious, to be politically aware and not participate. And there are also another type of people that are not aware, they don't even care, they don't want to care, they are not interested, it's not just their thing. So those are the two type of people we have. So what are the factors responsible for political apathy in Nigeria? So there are several factors responsible for political apathy. However, talking about all these factors, I came to realize that it boils down to three major factors. Everything we're going to talk about will still fall under the category of these three major factors. So like I said, the factors can be categorized under three major categories, and the first one is the economic condition. So the decision to participate in political system ultimately cannot be divorced from very specific manners in which citizens encounter government. For example, staying somewhere where there is no light or no electricity, where you've not even, I'm sure there are some places in Nigeria that we all know of that they've never had electricity before. So talking to those people about government or policy, they don't care because they are not in any way feeling the impact of the government. So how do you convince these kind of people to participate in politics or something? So when people cannot pay for reasonable basic expenses, how do we expect them to participate in government? So that's where I'm a young person still looking for a job. All these things still bow down to the economic conditions. Looking for a job, I'm not interested. I'm trying to fix my life. Like, yeah. So those are all the factors that come. Those are all the stuff that comes under economic condition. The second one, which I think that's where a lot of people fall into, is the trust in the political system. A lot of people don't trust the political system. They don't trust the electoral body. They don't trust the security personnel. For instance, INEC, like, they don't trust INEC. Do they trust the security people to say, okay, if I go out and vote, are you sure, is there a guarantee that I'm going to get back into my house? We've had cases where people were shot during elections or during protests. We've had cases where citizens were tear gassed. We've had cases where citizens were abused. So that's where lack of trust in this political system is. People can always predict the winner, stuff like that. All these things falls under lack of trust. Like, can we trust INEC? Can we trust the police? Can we trust everybody? Can we even trust our political parties to have a credible primary election? So all these things still bow down to lack of trust. So, and the third one, the level of civic participation. High level of illiteracy equal to low level of participation among voters and citizens. This is where political consciousness and awareness comes in. This is where volunteering, voting, protecting comes in. This is where respect for rights and belief opinions comes in. This is where respect for the laws, for the federal government and the state law, this is where it comes in. This is where staying informed on issue comes in. So all these things still bow down to the level of civic participation. So what are the possible remedies for political apathy in Nigeria? We've talked about the problem. Like I said, there are several problems, but however, it can be categorized under three things, which is economic conditions, lack of trust in the political system, and level of civic participation among citizens. Economic conditions. So there's definitely a need for redistribution of wealth, creating environments where business can thrive. And when it comes to business, a lot of young people are doing amazing well in that aspect. People are doing whatever they can do, legal stuff to get to feed themselves and fend for their family. People, do they have, when it comes to economic conditions, do they have the basic things to survive? Do they have water? Do they have light? Do they have electricity? All these things still bow down to economic issues. The way Yoruba people used to say, no dudu no mamoria. Like, if I'm in an environment and I have light, I have everything, I'll definitely want to come out to say, that man doing that job, I want to keep him there. In the issue of lack of trust, I'm going to use an example of 2015. We all saw what happened when a man was appointed into INEC to head over INEC. That's Professor Jega. And what did Jega do? He introduced the card reader, which was used for that election. And to some extent, the election was credible. It was transparent. Just that single man changed the face of that institution. But after Jega left, after 2015 or 2016, we all saw the turnout of elections. We all saw what happened in 2019. We all saw how an election was cancelled on an election day. So that alone nullifies the trust people have for you to cancel an election on an election day. That alone shows lack of credibility in that election. And we also, even the election that we had after the major election, like other states' election, Kogi was an example. We also what happened. We also the kind of atrocity that happened, but yet the INEC still went ahead to say, oh, that's a credible election. But we also with our eyes that is not credible election. So by the time we appoint the appropriate people, improve on our institution, people will be participating willingly. Imagine, I know, okay, once I use the card reader, my votes will be counted. I can go out and I can come back home safe. If I should go to the ballot box or to the voting center, I'll definitely go out, or I can go out to protest without anybody tear gassing me or me running scatter for my life. When the security personnel who are supposed to protect the people who are doing the actual job they're getting paid for, and not protecting the political personnel instead of the individual, people will definitely come out to participate. So in summary, there's a need to bridge the huge between public distrust about government. The people don't trust the government. So what the government needs to do is to bridge the huge public distrust. So we've talked about possible remedies for economic conditions. We talked about possible remedies for lack of trust. Now I'm going to talk about civic participation. For civic participation, I think voters' education may be the best solutions for apathy, because it helps people understand why country-wide problem needs to be dealt with. Participation in politics and election is one way to fix the problem. You know, we all know that we have problem in Nigeria. We all know. But you know, one single policy, if properly, if it's well done, can actually change a lot of things. So when the citizens realize this, then they will participate more in the political decision. And so that's why I said voters education, or political education and awareness, is one way to bridge the gap. This is my favorite part of the episode. There are so many young people doing amazing things, and I've called this episode "We're Not a Useless Generation" episode, where I talk about young Nigerians doing amazing things in different fields. So on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about one young, not so young person. I'm fascinated by his story. His name is Honorable Tajuddin Adefisoye. I didn't get to do a personal interview with this honorable, but I used the information in the public domain to come about these gists. So Honorable Adefisoye is popularly known as Small Alarji. He's 36 years old. He's the youngest and the only representative of the SDP in the House of Representatives, and is representing Ifedore in Ondo State constituency. So the Honorable joined active politics in the year 2010, and this is 2020, and he's 36 years old. So that means he joined active politics at the age of 26 years old. As at the year he joined politics, he aspired to become a member of the House of Assembly in Ondo State, but he lost the election under Labour Party. In 2015, he contested under APC and lost by 8 votes during the primary election. And in 2019, he contested and won the election for the Federal House of Representatives under SDP. Yeah, that's why I really like this story, because he didn't this is the part I really like. So it's not all about the two major big political parties. He did it under SDP and he won an election, and his story is a story of perseverance, determination, and you know, he put in the work. That's 10 years of work, and he still got there. And the honorable is doing amazingly well. I follow him on the Instagram. I see the way he relates with his people. I think that's a good person for everybody to so I think that's a good story, and a lot of young people too, we should be ready to put in the work when it comes to politics. And the honorable has done well for himself. He put in over 10 years, and now he's in the Federal House of Rep, representing his people and giving them a voice. So yeah, that's the honorable. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Let me know what you think when it comes to political apathy, when it comes to political participation, and when it comes to political alienation. What does that mean? Or should I say voters alienation? Voters alienation is a case where citizens no longer have trust in the political system. For example, we've tried APC, nothing has changed. We've tried PDP, nothing has changed. So let me know what you think. Your comments are very, very important to me. I want to read from you. I want to read your feedback. And thank you very much for watching this episode. As you all know, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Let me know what you think about political participation. Let me know your own fears. Let me know why you're not so interested. You know, we can't give up. That's one thing. And everybody has a role to play when it comes to nation building. That I can tell you. And no role is too small or too huge. Thank you. See you next time on LOLA'S Voice.